Hey lovelies, it's Heather here. Just gonna go ahead and shoot today's video and get it done and over with. I just got off work a few minutes ago. Today was average, but then again, when you're in the state of mind I'm in, everything's average. Nothing's anything. I don't know. Clarabelle's doing better, as you can tell by her butt walking by. Because yesterday she was sick and she threw up 5 times, but I got to her in time, so she threw up everything, so she's all happy now and feeling better and not sick feeling anymore, which is good. Yesterday when I worked, I seen this guy that I went to school with that I'm kind of like supposed to be, I don't know. It's like my mom has a cousin, and her cousin married this woman that had a kid, and then that kid, I referred to her as my cousin because of that. And then, but she was never like officially adopted in by him, I don't think. And then her cousin was this guy or whatever that I went to school with. And like, it just made me feel weird, and like, so I was like, like, we're cousins, that's what we are, like, in my mind or whatever. Even though we're not really. But, seen him yesterday at work. And today at work, like, as soon as I got there, my ex-best friend from childhood, like my best friend from childhood, her grandmother came in as my first customer today whenever I got to work. And I was just like, great. And like, I just wanted to cry and be like, how's my baby? Because I've not seen my kid since Thanksgiving. But then I know that she would probably say that she didn't know, even if she did slightly know, because unless she knows something like, like a lot of or whatever, it's always, I don't know, or whatever for most people and stuff. But she's older up in her years too and stuff and everything. But, this is the woman whose house I used to go and spend like half of my summer at for years. And she's still living in the same area as my parents. And, it just kind of sucked. I know that because of where I'm working, who I'm going to see, what I'm going to have to tolerate, what I'm going to have to deal with and stuff. But, it's the way it is. Whenever your life's just shit. It's the best way to word it. It's like I keep trying to always be positive, and I'm so tired of it. And it's like people don't get it, and then people that are more caught up in just all kinds of other things, they don't get it. And they don't get how tiring it is. Like, okay, for instance, say, it's like, okay, here, we're going to set you in front of, it's like there's different types of tired. There's different types of exhaustion. And people just, I don't know, they don't get that. People think I'm not tired because I've not had a normal life in the ways that they have. But they don't understand that, like, I'm emotionally exhausted. Like, I'm just numb, like, but then not. But I'm just exhausted. And it's like I got to thinking last night and everything about just life and how I don't fit in and how everybody is ruled by greed and envy for the most part. And that's literally what tears apart every fucking relationship that I ever kind of have or whatever, is like the person's, it don't have to be towards me, but it's just greed in general, or envy in general. See, my child has been envious, jealous, if you will, of every kid basically that she's ever met, because she hasn't had a dad that's been part of her life. She hasn't had another parent be part of her life. She didn't have a mom that drove. She didn't have a mom that was the cool mom that drove and all that. and stuff or whatever, and took her here and took her there and did this with her and did that with her. And then on top of it, she didn't have any siblings. I mean, she has 3 half sisters, but she don't see them. And then we don't have cable. She don't have any like game systems or anything. Like my parents had got her a Nobby tablet a few years ago. Then they got her a phone, and then they got her a regular tablet, which was only to be kept over at her house, which granted we don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have internet, we don't have a computer. And so that's one thing that really, kind of pulled at her to do, and be willing and shit to go stay with them, is that they have, they have cable, they have this, they have that, and while she's over there, she has her little cousins to play with, and everything, and, so. But, it's like I always tried to teach her, but sometimes that's a lesson that you can't learn. Somebody trying to teach you, you got to kind of learn it on your own. And I used to get on to her, when she was younger about being jealous about her cousin, her oldest cousin, and she's like, I'm not jealous and stuff. And I was like, okay, But then, she was, and I was like, okay. And so I tried to revert back into acting overly jealous or envious and stuff towards my sister, so that way like I could backtrack and then I could take my kid along with me on the journey to learn to not be envious. And then I even tried to talk to my oldest niece to get my oldest niece to kind of help explain, because my oldest niece, when I've watched her a few times, especially when she was younger and I was with my husband, my niece would cry to stay with me because she got tired of the life that she had with her mother. She got tired of getting in and out and in and out of the car all the time because they're constantly going here, going there. We're going to go see this. We're going to go visit this person. We're going to go over here. We're going to go to, And whenever she could come to my house, she could just sit for days, and sit and eat and watch TV and, kind of melt into this little huddle area, if you will, of my home, And so she'd stay like, 3-4 days a week or 2, and stuff. And, but the thing is like my parents always tried to keep it fair between my daughter and my niece for as far as going out and buying things. And here's my niece has a dad, has that side of the family to buy things for her. And then her dad, of course, drives. So does her mother. So they're taking her places. And here I am. I hadn't had a license all this time. So I can't take my daughter places because nobody's helping me to get my license. Nobody gives a shit if I ever get my license. Nobody did. And so they'd still end up buying the same amount of stuff or doing the same amount of I took your kid to the park, so now I got to take, my other grandbaby to the park. And I'm like, but do you not understand that you're not really making it equal and even? Because your other grandbaby has a mom that drives her to the park, once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever, My kid has to sit at home and wait until you feel like coming and taking her to the park because you don't feel like coming and taking me to get my license. So, riddle me that, But anyways, so, back to being at work or whatever, I seen, that woman come in that is the grandparent of my ex-best friend. And I ain't even gonna play like I about lost my shit. And like there's something inside of me that's just like, yep, this is a clear-cut sign that everything that you've been thinking for the past 24 hours is probably about right. And you just need to fucking give up, Like it took everything. Like I literally laid in bed all day until it was time to get ready for work. That's all I did. And then on the Aminos or whatever, there was this other guy that he's like 23 or 5 or whatever, that he's been like slowly trying to talk to me and like kind of get to know me. And it's like, I don't know, I'm backwards. It's like people that try to get to know me in a hurry, I'm more wary of them, you know. But I mean, that's anybody for the most part. You know, if somebody comes in, they're like, "Hi, what's your name? You know, what's your birthday?" You know, you're kind of like, I just met you. Can you calm down? Can you, you know? And even though I like to know basics of people, you know, like their age, their first name, and where they live, or an area within, you know, like a, you know, kind of get an idea of where the hell they live and stuff. Other than that, I don't, you know. But, so he asked me, like, he's been talking to me like 3 days or whatever, and he's like, hey, you know, he's like, what are you up to? Because it's just generalized talk, you know, it's not any of this. But I need to get off the fucking dating amino, I guess. But I don't know, because I don't know. Because 1 minute it's like, I don't mind talking to them as long as they keep respect about me, which granted I usually have to be like, okay, you're going to have to keep respect, you know, like I'm not here for that, you know, I'm here just to chat. But then I usually have people to talk to, so that's a decent thing. Is it good? Is it good? It's good food. Okay. Well, you go finish it. How about? Go finish it. Good girl. You're a good girl too, Dana. Go. Go. Go finish it. Go. Now my damn leg's starting to go numb. But, so anyways, what the fuck was I saying? Oh. He's like, what's wrong? And I was like, it's a lot, you know. And he's like, well, you can talk to me about it if, you know, about it if you want to, you know, or talk, you know, tell me about it. And I was like, okay. And so I told him just some, you know, but I kind of told him the basics of like my life, because it's like, I can't ever have anything work out with anybody. Like, it's like people are always gonna go, nobody ever stays. And talk to him about how if it's not people leaving of their own free will or something, then it's usually they die, you know. And then I've talked about how much death there was in my family growing up, and then pets dying. I didn't get into my dad killing some of them. I just didn't. And then I told him about Steven. Damn fly. One fly flying around. But I told him about Steven committing suicide, and about how I felt about that happening, and about how I felt about Steven. And, God damn it. Sorry, it's just, I mean, it's just everything. It's like the dog won't stop, and this fucking fly. This one fly. It's like, life's just shitty. And that's another thing, too, is I guess I don't know. I guess I'm a horrible piece of shit person. I don't deserve all the stuff, you know, that I can't even say it because it's like breaking my own heart. Fuck. But, and it's like people just don't get it. And then people shit talk, and people talk about strength, and you're too weak, and well, you just need to suck it up. And They don't understand how strong you have to be to deal with certain things. I don't know. I just miss my kid. But while I was at work tonight, another somebody from my past, or whatever, classmate, came in, and he's got 5 sons, and I assumed all the kids was his, but they kind of looked like him. And I remembered his name, but I did not spell it correctly whenever I typed it in. And I realized it like after I'd done hit enter, and I was like, I don't even care to fix it. I don't even give a shit. And like I was afraid to kind of call him by his name whenever he approached, because I was like, is that him? I think that's him. And then I was like, it's going to make me kind of feel better if I'm right, and I was. And he asked the age-old question, how you been, And of course, I give the age-old response like I was taught to at a very young age, which is, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm fine. Because that's what you're supposed to say. That's what society grooms you to say. You can't say, oh, I'm doing bad. I'm falling apart. My life is shit. But, my life ain't, I don't know. It's just emotionally. And then, because of last night, like, I just gave the fuck up. Like, and I even wrote on my Facebook, I was like, goodbye, EJ. Like, I was just like, just fuck it. Oh, I want to be with her. Oh, I want to talk to her. It's like, I want to talk to her. The answer's no. I want to talk to her about why she don't want to be with me. The answer's no. I want to talk to her to see if she does want to be with me. The answer's no. I want to talk to her about any fucking thing. The answer's no. I want to be back being friends with her. The answer's no. Everything, the answer's no, so what the fuck does anything matter? But then she wants to sit there and dick around like a little fucking 12-year-old and still fucking put, the pictures like I talked about on her DeviantArt page after, the other day's video, and her just being like, with the fucking drawings of the person, that I was following that I liked. And then she started following them, and so it's like a mind fuckery, and it's like, great, I was sitting here, EJ, my mind wasn't fucked with enough before I met you. No, I needed you to come along, and, and it's like, yeah, I like her, yeah, I want to be with her, yeah, I want to talk to her and all this and everything, but I don't know. Like, I'm just used to the answer always being no for everything, even fucking being quiet right now. Like, and now I say that and it's like dead silence. I don't know, I just don't fit. Nothing about me fits. It's like I'm I'm a square peg trying to always fit in a round hole, and it never works. And then it's like, when people, I don't know, it's really hard for me to tell, like, when people go from thinking they know me and they place a judgment on me. Because I worked again with that manager that was popping off to me kind of the other night. And it's like, this is what makes me mad, I guess, is like, You meet me, you see me, or something like that, and you make a judgment of me, and you stand by it until you're informed. Una! Una, come here, please. Una. Petunia Renee. But, okay, lay down. Or sit. But, anyways, stop. I don't want kisses. Lay down. Una. Stay. Just stay. But anyways, it's like, people meet you and they make judgments of you, and they're really, harsh and strict, and, and that's how they get ahead in life, and that's the way that you're supposed to be, and society says you're supposed to be that, and that's even like judging somebody based upon their actions, how they treat you from day one, and, or whatever. And so, this girl, whenever she was the manager the other day when I worked, I could tell she'd done made a judgment on me with the way she was treating me, and I was just like, damn, and I was like, okay, and I was like, really don't want to work with her again unless I absolutely have to. And then tonight, when I worked with her, she was fine. She was fine, but she was also really nice. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, else I got a bipolar manager, or else somebody has said something to her and now she feels sorry for me. And I was like, or maybe she just is deciding to be nicer to me. And I hope that's what it is. I hope she's just deciding to be nicer to me. But I hope she don't feel sorry for me. And that's like the guy I was talking to on an amino the other night, last night or whatever. He was like, your friends shouldn't pity you, And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, but that's usually, it's like, oh, I'm going to pity you, but I'm going to do it from over here, Like, oh, you're way too much to handle. I can't help you. I feel sorry for her, And so it's like, shh, And it's like, just, I just want to kind of just be like, just treat me nice. But then I can't, because when I do that, and then I step into that emotional, sensitive side of me, that internal, then that's when the people that are like, oh, she's just out for attention and she's lying and all this, that's when they see it as a time to, if they've backed off of attacking, if you will, that's when they see it as a time to start attacking again. And I can't. I refuse. I refuse to play these mind games. I fucking refuse to. I'll die. I refuse to. Like, I can't. And it's like, I just want my damn kid back. And then, supposedly, I'm supposed to, go and like, my parents are supposed to be bringing my daughter to visitation across the street. And they haven't been. And that was court ordered. But it was also court ordered that I'm supposed to be going to counseling, paying child support, and taking the parenting classes. And then my attorney, hasn't even all this time informed me. Like, whenever I would call, it's like just mockery and laughing and like all kinds of shit and everything and stuff. And it's just like, I'm giving you the opportunity to be a good attorney. Represent yourself. What do you want your reputation to speak for yourself? And it's like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm just some piddly little piece of shit, southern redneck, white trash, what the hell ever person, so my opinion doesn't matter, And so I'm not like a high paying, high status client that you're going to actually do the best of work for. And then because, you're court appointed, and everything, and it's just like, I don't know, but it's like I called him the other day and I found out that his number changed. So I got his new number and called him, and he actually spoke to me for a split second, like maybe I am decent now. Maybe I am a okay person to try to actually fight for me to have my kid back. It's like it takes you a year to realize that. Like, I was just thinking of so many things today, And one thing, and I know it sounds like really, but I was sitting there, like, after I seen this woman come in that, into my work, that's my first customer, that's my ex-friend's, grandmother or whatever. I was just like, oh boy, in the back of my head, I'm trying to take the order, and then I got one of the sandwiches wrong. And then I felt bad about that, and then I'm like, fuck, I don't even know the menu here. And I'm like, I didn't get out to eat here. Sorry that I'm not a huge fan of the place, and I don't know the menu at all, And so somebody says something, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's like somebody speaking a different language, And I'm just like, like, give me a minute. And then even at that, because I'm doing that and my mind's focusing on that and everything, and I'm used to having somebody that's like helping to bag the food when I'm as responsible for as much of the front counter type situation or whatever. It's just like, I don't know how the hell, whenever they do, if they ever do, put me up there by myself, I don't know how the hell I'm going to function unless people just start bagging the fucking food for me. Because whenever we get really busy and there's like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 customers in line, or even if there's 2 or 3 but they got 3 and 4 kids, and so they've ordered, 5 and 6 sandwiches or whatever on one order and then 5 on the other and stuff like that. I don't know how the hell I'm going to manage. I'll be honest. I really don't. Because I'm on the verge of, like, snapping anyways. But, so I got to thinking about this woman whenever she come in, and I was like, oh boy, and I was like, more gossip is what kind of went through my head, and then I was like, I wonder if she knows how my daughter is. I wonder if I could ask her how my daughter is. I wonder if I asked her how my daughter is, if she would know, or even if she did know, if she would care to tell me, or if she would say something along the lines, because she's one of those people. And see, we went to the same church and stuff too, like, and she'd be like, well, I don't know, and you need to, and this and that, because there's only like 2 or 3 times during my whole childhood that she kind of was like, it was kind of like a light went off, for her to agree with me, that what my parents had did or said was wrong, But the rest of the time, whenever I would kind of try to go and kind of, I guess you'd say, complain on my parents, she'd be like, well, and stuff like that. Now, granted, I didn't go up to her and be like, my dad tried to touch me, or, he did when I was little, but then he kept trying, or he kept trying to make me want some, I don't know what the hell, and my dad keeps beating me, and it's like, well, what did you do wrong? I had to have done something wrong. I have to be the bad seed. I'm the bad kid. I'm the bad apple. I'm the bad everything, And so it's just, you reach a point where you're just like, fuck it. Okay, I'm horrible. And it's a lot easier. I hate to say it because I've done it several times before. Instead of standing up and being like, no, I'm a good person, no, I'm valuable, no, I have this, no, it's a lot easier to just go, yep, I'm a piece of shit, and that's all I'm ever going to be. And that way, whenever somebody wants to get on to you, you just go, yep, I'm a piece of shit. What was you expecting? You know, you didn't do your job right. Yep, I'm a piece of shit. What were you expecting from a piece of shit? Or you didn't do this on time. Yep, I'm a piece of shit. What did you expect from a piece of shit? And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, and that's like even with EJ and just being like goodbye. It's like, okay, fine. I can't have anything that I want. None of my dreams are gonna come true. What the fuck ever. Supposedly, I'm supposedly just a piece of shit. So okay. And then EJ can sit there and be like, I fucking hate you, and then be like, why wouldn't you talk to me if she ever is like that? Which there's no guarantee that she'll ever be like that. She'll probably just walk around stomping around like a big old damn, I don't know, grumpy ass, I don't fucking know, or whatever, like grumpy, literally, like grumpy, whether you wanted to say the Care Bear or the fucking dwarf or what the hell ever, and she can do that for the rest of her fucking life because that's what she wants to do, that's what she's been doing, that's the reason she acts the way that she does, so fine, be grumpy, bye. And then me saying that, it's like one of those things where you get the permission to be, and it's like, I didn't want you, or what the fuck, like, just don't, just whatever, just bye. But it's like, I can't. But I was sitting there and that woman came in and I got to thinking about my kid. And I got to thinking about my dad, and my dad supposedly, my kid, whenever she come over Thanksgiving, she's like, Papa really wants to talk to you. And I was like, that's between me and him. That has nothing to do with you. Don't be talking to me about him. You're here to talk to me about you, about what you're doing, about school, about how you been and all that. I said, don't talk to me about him. He has his own voice. He needs to learn to use it, and I don't want to see him. And I don't. I don't want to see him, and I don't want to see my mother. And I barely even want to, I don't want to see nobody in my family except for my kid. I'll be honest. And why? Because my kid was taken from me. You're telling me I cannot see the child that came out of my uterus when the fucking hell ever I want to. And I'm not a bad parent that sits here and molests or rapes or allows somebody to rape or molest. I don't do drugs. I've never put my kid on drugs. My baby wasn't born addicted to anything, even though her dad was a meth addict. She wasn't born addicted to that shit. Like, I've been a damn good fucking mother, okay? Sorry that it's not by society standards, okay? Sorry that my life has been shit. Sorry that I'm emotionally devastated and have been since the time I was like, I don't know, fucking 5, basically. Or 10 if you want to try to give me a little bit more. But I'm just an emotional fucking wreck, okay? And I'm trying to not be, because I was taught that I had to pretend like I was perfectly fine. And that my emotions didn't matter, and I'm happy, and yeah, I can cry and be upset like a normal kid, but only the normal amount that normal kids get to do, and yet I'm not having a normal life at home. So yeah, that fucks you up, okay? But I've been a damn good mother, and you're going to tell me that I can't see my kid. You're going to tell me that I have to miss my kid's 6th and 7th grade year. You're going to tell me that I can't be with my child during, those special years, if you will, where puberty hits and all that, and the hormones and all that. My one and only kid, and here I was wanting 7 damn kids. And I've only got one, and I'm 30, fixing to turn 31 in July. And you're going to strip that from me. So, yeah, no, I don't want to see anybody in my fucking family. They can all kiss my ass. And even if I end up having to go and live back with my damn grandmother, she can kiss my ass while I'm there. I don't give a flying fuck. Because what's the worst that's going to happen if I do end up having to live back with her? I'm going to sink into the bed, into the bedroom, and that's where I'm going to live, and that's where I'm going to die.
And then she can get on the phone and call everybody until she dies at the age of, I don't know, fucking 200, I guess. And get on the phone and talk about what a lazy piece of shit I am and how I never work and how I never do anything and how I never did anything and I'm such a piece of shit. And then since she's old and her mind's going, it'll probably be to the point that it'll be like, I never did anything. I was never a mother. I never worked. I never get credit for anything. So it's whatever. I'm used to it.
But, so supposedly my dad's the only reason that my kid, is like, well, Papa's the one that told me that I need to come over and see you. So supposedly my kid don't want to come and see me. I breastfed my baby until she was 2.5. I cradled her. I sang to her. I taught her everything that she knows for the most part. I have done so much for her. And I haven't done bad to go and unravel the good that I did do. See, my parents, yeah, they took care of me. Basics. They did it, okay? They bought me toys. I had birthday parties, Jennifer. I had toys. They took me to church because, that's what all amazing, wonderful parents do is they take their kids to church, and then that means that they're amazing, wonderful parents. Even the ones that take their kids to church. Like Catholic churches where they get molested by, who the hell ever, or, they get molested by preachers or priests or whoever. Those are some great parents, Jennifer, let me tell you, and I'm saying that because Jennifer has kind of made me feel like she's throwing off on me, like she's like, well, your life could have been as bad as mine, and it's like, the envious, and it's like the grass greener on the other side, and it's like, Jennifer, it's like, you've been driving for how long? You've been able to go where? You've been able to do what? Oh, you had to deal with something that was a struggle? I'm sorry. I've had to deal with things that are a struggle too. Can you understand that? And so, yeah, my parents bought me gifts and presents, and stuff. Did they buy me what I wanted all the time? Was they that? Was they able to? Could they afford it? Or was there was mean gifts that came sometimes. That's even like fucking on my Facebook. I was looking back at some old pictures, and it's pictures of me and my sister. And they got us the big Care Bears for Easter that year, and mine was Grumpy. And that was an insult. Because my parents asked me which one I wanted, and there was like 2 or 3 others that I picked, and then my mom basically was like, no, you can only pick out of these. And so I was like, I guess I'll take Grumpy, and then I was like, well, no, and then I was like, I think I want this instead, if that's what y'all are going to get us. And then I woke up that morning, and they had Grumpy there for me, and whenever I picked it up, like, I think my dad, I don't know if he was out there or not, but he's like, yeah, we got you Grumpy because you're always so fucking grumpy. Like, but, it's like I started almost like feeling, really just shitty because I was thinking about my kid, and missing her and all the stuff that I've done for her. And I thought, if my kid don't want to come and see me, hell, if it wasn't for me, hell, she'd probably still be, she probably still would have been walking around in damn diapers until she was like fucking 5, like some of these kids that their parents don't care to teach them, or they're having difficulties teaching them because of other stuff going on, And I was like, no, but I had my kid potty trained before she was 2, And I mean, like, I remember every time we'd go anywhere, because, I was a stay-at-home mom, and so we'd go grocery shopping with my mom during the time that I'm, like, potty training her. And so I would, be like, let's go try pee-pee, and go potty, and before we leave, and then we get in the car, and then as soon as we got there, which granted it's only like 20-minute drive, maybe max, but I'm like, let's go pee again, make sure, because she had her little panties on, didn't want her getting wet, and stuff. And then one time, this was when I was with my husband, she had an accident on herself up at the mall because she was so excited to get out, and that's something that people that can get and take their kids out and stuff and they care to. Some of them don't, and that's like these two girls that was in the neighborhood that I took care of whenever I was with my husband or whatever. Their mom would always leave them, being babysat or whatever whenever she was going out places. And so me and my husband took them to Walmart to let them pick out, because I felt, like I knew their life somewhat, and I was like, I want to get them Christmas gifts, but I want to actually get what they actually want. I was like, so how about, since they're over and we're babysitting them, how about we go grocery shopping tonight and we'll walk down the toy aisle and I'll take note in my mind of what oh, that's so pretty and that's so cool. And these kids, whenever we took them to the mall, not the mall, but Walmart, they were just like floored and they were all over the place. And I remember the youngest, even though she was kind of too big for it or whatever, she wanted in the buggy, like to sit in the buggy. And so me and my husband, or my husband picked her up, I think, and set her in the buggy, and she could barely fit, she was so big, but she wanted that because she hadn't had that as much as she had wanted it, and everything. And we had to wiggle to get her out whenever we went to go and leave. But, anyways, they picked out, these things, or whatever, because I was like, look at this and all that and everything and stuff. And so we went back later and got them some Christmas gifts, before Christmas came and stuff or whatever. But, life. But anyway, so my kid hadn't been out at the mall in a really long time, like probably a year and a half or whatever. And we took her, like my dad took her or whatever. We went up there, and my kid's just having the best day ever, to a degree. And then my kid's like, Mommy, I gotta pee, and there's not like a bathroom that's they're kind of spaced out decently. And I was like, okay. And she's like 5, maybe 6, but I think she was 5. And so I get her to the bathroom, and she's like, oh, the whole way, even walking to the bathroom. Look at that. Did you see that? That looked pretty. Mommy, I like that. That's, and she's got ADHD. So she's just, this and that and pretty and wow, and, and everything. And I'm just like, okay, calm down. You can look at it better and more. We'll walk back the same way whenever you get done going to the bathroom. And I didn't go into the bathroom with her. I just, walked her to the door, pushed the door open. I was like, okay, because it's only like 3 stalls in this one or whatever. And I'm standing out there, and my niece was with us too. That's right, my oldest niece. And my oldest niece, goes in, they're in there, or whatever. And I hear them laughing and giggling. I'm like, stop laughing and giggling and just go potty. I opened the door and said it. And then I was like, why is it taking so long? It's taking them a long time to pee, or whatever. And so my niece come out to me, and she's like, Auntie Heather, and I'm like, yeah, baby. And she's like, Ava had an accident, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, is she sick? Is her stomach hurt? And she's like, no. She's like, she didn't make it to the toilet in time. She got pee on herself, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, shit, and I want to say we were up there for a parade or something that they had out at the mall or something going on. But anyways, I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, shit. And then I was like, I don't have anything and this and that and all kinds of stuff. And my dad then come and he's like, what the hell's taking so fucking long and stuff. I think Ava was around that age. She might have been younger. No, she had to have been 5. Because then that would have put Michaela at 4. Yeah. And I was like, Ava had an accident. And he's like, motherfucking God, just bitching about it. And there's this woman or whatever that, or not a woman, it was a guy that was walking that worked there in the store. And I was like, dude, here's $20. I was like, just go pick out, a size, 2T or 3T, or whatever, I think. Because Ava was little. Ava always been skinny. But I was like, go pick out, a pack of panties and just any random pants, stretchy leggings, anything. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that, and this and that, because my dad had done walked off and left and got mad, And so I'm not going to leave my daughter stranded in a bathroom by herself, And so I see this guy that works there, and I kind of wave him down. I'm like, here's $20, and he's like, I don't know if I can do that. And I'm like, just bring me back the receipt. I don't care. I'm like, my kid's in there, I can't leave her. And I'm like, you know what? Here's 25. I'm like, just go buy that. And he's like, let me ask my manager. So he goes off to go ask his manager if he can take money from me to go buy something. And I'm just like, because I'm just like, dude looks like he's older than me, and I'm like, this is the common sense factor, But maybe it was his first day at the job and he was afraid he'd get in trouble, or maybe he'd done got in trouble, or something, so he wanted to be certain. So anyways, as that's going on or whatever, like he's off, I'm talking, to my daughter and stuff, kind of through the bathroom door propped open, that leads into the bathroom. And, she's crying and she's like, Mommy, I'm sorry. And it's like, I don't want to go in because he's got my money. And I'm like, it's okay, baby, and I'm like, I'm going to take care of you. It's okay. It's all right, and everything or whatever. And, so my dad comes back right as this woman's approaching me, which is the manager, And my dad's like, what the hell's going on and shit, And I'm like, well, let me see. Let me talk to her. I need to talk to her. Shut up, is what I wanted to say to him. But I was just like, well, I need to talk to her, And so she's like, what's going on, And I'm like, I just need, a pair of panties and, a pair of pants bought for my daughter because she's in here and she had an accident. And I'm like, so that's the reason I gave him the money, or tried to, or whatever. He's like, oh, And then my dad's like, well, I'm here now, And I thought, yeah, dipshit, but where the fuck were you when I needed you? Like, no, he's off bitching about shit. Fucking asshole, And so, that's right. He kept complaining. He's bitching about it. He's like, my God. And he's like, well, I'll stand here by the bathroom for crying out loud. And I was like, well, I'm not leaving my 5-year-old daughter in a fucking bathroom by herself and walking around a goddamn store. I was like, so excuse me, Like, the woman had done left, or whatever, the manager, because I was done like, it's okay, my dad's here now, we'll sort it out, and she walked off. And then he's like, I don't see why the hell you just didn't do it already. Go ahead and get her, and I'm like, because I'm not walking around the fucking store leaving her in the goddamn bathroom by her fucking self. And he just, and I was just, well, get the fuck over it, And, so I told my niece, I was like, go, kind of stay with Ava, and, if she's crying, comfort her and tell her to be all right, and tell her I'm out here and I'm going to get her some panties and pants or whatever. And so, of course, we're in the most expensive fucking store probably in the goddamn mall to an extent, one of the higher end stores. You can't even find a pack of panties that's under, I don't know, like $12.99. Like even a 3-pack pair of little kids' panties or what the fuck ever. Because they're the brand name and they're Disney and they got all the different, characters on them or what the fuck ever and shit and special tags and this and that and what the, And then you can find a pair of pants, but the pair of pants is like $5. So that's like 17 fucking bucks. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm trying to like find something, and my dad, I'm still kind of, I'm not really, I'm around the corner, I guess you say is the best way to word it. And so next thing I know, my niece is up on me. And my niece is like standing, right
beside me, and she's like, Papa's mad and he's ready to go, and he says to just get Ava because we're just going home. And I'm like, my poor baby, and she's going to be so embarrassed because we got to walk through the whole entire mall. She's 5 years old and she accidentally peed on herself. And so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and I had my jacket on. And so I was just like, fuck it, And so I just shoved my 20 back in the back of my pants. And I was like, fine, And so I went in there and I got Ava and I bundled her whole bottom up in my jacket. That way nobody could have told. And I was like, and she's like crying and she's embarrassed and she's afraid somebody's going to see and somebody's going to make fun of her. She's a little girl, and everything. And I'm like, baby, it's okay. And I'm like, as a matter of fact, you want to make sure that nobody's going to know, and I'm like, just pretend like you're asleep. I said, just lay your head down. You'll look like a 5-year-old that fell asleep and their mommy's carrying them. I said, so don't worry about it, and I was like, put your head down, go to sleep, And she did, and she actually kind of like cried herself to sleep in the, 15-minute walk, I guess, or whatever, back out to the car. And then my dad, even being a dickhead and everything, he's like, my God, I didn't know she was going to smell that bad, or some shit like that, before, like, she kind of woke up as I was putting her in the car, in her car seat, and I was trying to figure out, how am I going to get her in the car seat, without her making the car seat, where I have to take it apart and wash it, and I was just like, and so I just gave her my jacket, even though it was like fucking freezing outside, and everything, and I gave her, and I set her in it, and then I just kind of half-assed, buckled her in, but good enough, and got in the car, and I was like, okay, just take us home, and he took us back to the apartment or whatever, and then, I just got her out, and I took her straight to the bathtub, But he was like, my God, I didn't realize she soaked herself, and everything. I'm like, yeah, what do you think peeing on yourself means? Whenever I got out of the car, because that's what he said. He's like, he's trying to make light of it now, as we're getting out, whenever he drives us home, he's like, the whole time, because the smell of urine, and then we get out, And he's like, oh my God, I didn't know she'd soaked herself. If I would have known she'd soaked herself, I would have let you pick out some clothes for her, And I'm like, it's all right, we're good, And I just carried her in and was like, God, ugh, son of a bitch. My dad, I swear, I hate him sometimes. I hate him so much sometimes. And then there for like the next, 2 months, like 2 or 3 times we got in the car with my mom, and it's like you could smell something in the car, but it wasn't a urine smell. It smelled more like, I don't know, and it wasn't from her car seat, and to come to find out, it was from my niece. My niece had ate something and got some food stuck in, the area or whatever, like later on we found out, or whatever, like stuck in the car seat or in behind the car seat. But my dad was blaming it on my daughter, and I was like, she was wrapped up in my fucking jacket, okay? So your precious car didn't get no pissy scent from her, and that don't even smell like piss, and if you think that smells like piss, then you're fucking retarded, I'm like, that don't smell like piss, I was like, it smells like something, food. And sure enough, it was. It was like some cheesy fries or something. I don't know, that like Michaela dropped like 2 or 3 of them, my oldest niece, and they got crammed in the, back. Because they kept bitching about it. They bitched about it like 3 times, like I'd get in the car with my mom, and my kid or whatever, and be like, what's that smell? And be like, I guess it's where Ava, she had her accident on herself. I'm like, that's been weeks ago. That's not what that is, And so finally, after 3 complaints, one day when I went over, I was like, I'm going to find out what that fucking smell is. So I went out there and I searched their fucking car and found it and then took it into my mom, and I was like, moldy fucking fries, I was like, that's what it is. I was like, so stop talking about my damn kid, And she's like, well, it's not me, it's your dad that keeps bitching about the smell in the car. And I'm like, well, now it's not going to smell, I was like, if y'all learn to clean your damn car out. It's been hell dealing with my parents and trying to raise my daughter, defend my daughter, keep them from doing the same fucked up damage to her that they did to me, for as far as just emotionally speaking. Like, not the actual physical, touching and beatings and shit like that. No, just the emotional, psychological shit. Trying to keep that away from my kid, but yet still allow them to be her grandparents. And then the courts grant temporary custody to them. I'm surrounded by morons. I feel like that fucking bulldog off a goddamn fucking All Dogs Go to Heaven. I'm surrounded by morons. Morons. And then my damn attorney, I finally call him, I finally get up the courage to call him again, so that way maybe I don't have to hear that I'm a piece of shit in his monotone, snarky at times, laughy, giggly voice, that's like, who's Stevie? And I should have been like, the floating banana in the corner over there. It's like, no, Stevie is my fucking cat. He's 10 years old. Well, now he's 11, like, he's my damn cat. I can show you pictures. I can show you a video of him. Not delusional. I'm not insane. I'm not crazy. I don't give a shit what the fuck my parents have said about me. But anyways, so call the damn attorney, and he's like, oh, well, there's, this is what you can do since they're not bringing her. But then I'm like, yeah, what are they going to do to me, though? Because I'm not doing all the shit that I'm supposed to be doing. But then I don't have concrete evidence proof, I guess, but technically I kind of do that, yeah, I can't do what I can do. They went out and got a new fucking car, and you're going to tell me that they can't put gas in that son of a bitch to bring my daughter to visitation 2 miles down the fucking road every week, yet they can afford a new car? That right there should give me my kid back. That right there should be seen as, you know what, you are a piece of shit. Like, for as far as my parents, yeah, y'all are a piece of shit. Y'all are doing stuff to be petty, to be mean. And that's all that they've ever been. Petty and mean, and greedy and envious, They're envious of the fact that I'm younger than them. Well, usually that's kind of what happens when you're the child. Just naturally, I've never known, I've never heard that the case of Benjamin Button was real, Usually that's how that kind of happens, You have children and they're younger than you, So their vitality level, if you will, is, like better, and they're stronger and they're, sorry that I couldn't break science for you, Mom and Dad. God, I'm such a horrible piece of shit person. Like, y'all are fucking morons. God, I hate life. Jealous of your kid being young. Jealous of your kid having talent. Jealous of your kid wanting to do stuff with their life. Well, you're supposed to be able to still do stuff with your life, and just because you're old doesn't mean that your time, but you made your fucking choices. You made your fucking bed. Now lie in it. Stop trying to fuck around with me. Stop trying to dick around with me. I'm done. I'm over it. I made my choices. I chose to have sex with Adam Levine. Oh shit. Well, anyways, hell, whatever. There's several out there. But anyways, I chose to. I had a kid with him. I fucking adore my kid. Let me raise my kid. I've been raising my kid. Oh, but not financially. Okay, then keep on raising her financially if you want to keep helping financially. I don't give a flying fuck. But I got her financially now. I'm good. I'm working. I got her. And then even at that, if I'm sitting here and I'm without, I got all these material possessions, and guess what? They can be taken to a flea market and they can be sold long enough to have a little bit of income. Not enough for everything, but enough to make sure that my daughter is well taken care of. Enough to make sure that her fucking needs are met, that she has a roof over her fucking head and food in her belly and clothes on her back. People are just cruel. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. Like, I just fucking can't. I just want my kid back. I just want my kid back. I want my leg fixed. I want my wrist fixed. I found out why my wrist is hurting. It's because I'm using it at work. It's sad what I'm using it for, and it's already, like, I'm just like, It's like, it's not sad for as far as, work and the job, but it's just like, my God, I really can't even do that. Like, that's maybe 5 pounds of, carrying something, for 2 minutes tops. And it's like, it's because it's trying to, because your wrist is supposed to, and I can't, like, I don't know, like, this, and I can, I can bend normally, or whatever. Like, I can't bend it back really far, but still. And that don't hurt. This, and see, like, I don't know if you can tell, but even the shadows in it, like, it's fucked. And then, workers' comp doctor wants to be like, 2 fucking years ago when the shit happens, oh, you just squished it. There's no fractures. You just squished it. It's just your muscle. But yeah, I felt something right here whenever it happened, like a doo-doo, or whatever. And I'm just like, whatever. It's like my fucking ankle and everything else. But I'm going to end it here, Maybe I'll be in it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just here. I'm going to end the video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.